Geriatric Geek says, have a great week, Joe. Philly is a better place after today. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, boy. Somebody can't hit the road fast enough.
Hey folks, so here's something a little out of the ordinary. While we're not exactly a drama channel, I stumbled upon a YouTube stream in the collecting community that's just too bizarre not to mention.
I'm being badmouthed by people who I thought were my friends?
So it looks like everyone's starting to sour on Cinema Sickness, aka Retro Rest Stop, aka David Eisenhauer. And while I'm not exactly sure why, it seems like a big part of it is that Krazy Joe starts to get annoyed whenever Dave films in the same spots. Or at least that is how the stream starts.
But this is where we're headed. The Lost Grotto. Let's check this out.
So this was built in 1930 by Father Joseph Gallon. It's the Father Gallon Grotto.
I've got to back Dave on this one. Why does it even matter if both guys filmed at the same place? So what if Dave's video turned out a bit better? Is that really something to fuss over?
I did not realize that going to see roadside attractions and being interested in roadside attractions, I didn't realize that was a competition.
For those who might not be in the loop, Stephanie used to be a part of the Cinema Sickness crew. And it seems this live stream is happening because she's got something weighing on her mind.
You know, Steph, tell us what you need to, what you want to get off your chest.
Stephanie's gonna talk now.
People have actually sent me messages saying sorry that Dave treated you like that.
Now, I'm all for people sharing their experiences, but it strikes me a bit odd that she's eager to spill her story while also insisting on privacy.
So, also, the things that I want to say, I will tell you, they might be very upsetting to hear.
So, the first thing Stephanie brings up is that Dave films when he goes thrifting. I mean, he just asked if he can film the stuff he's buying from you. So why get upset if he mentions he has to film while shopping?
He was given a house, right? A house was left to him. He had no mortgage.
It's pretty strange that Joe brings up Dave not having a mortgage. I get what he's trying to imply, but at this stage in the conversation, it just comes off as Joe being a total jerk.
This is my full-time job. Have you heard him say that a lot?
Yeah, I've heard him say that he did not have enough to make a living.
I did have enough to make a living. Again, I was making more than my wife at the time was making. This coming from a guy who's like friends, or whatever, with other YouTubers like Adam the Woo and stuff who do YouTube as a full-time job.
After that, Dave goes on to explain that he was the main provider for his household, and he argues that being a YouTuber is a legitimate full-time job. He even brings up Adam the Woo, a YouTube heavyweight with over 700,000 subs, in comparison to his own modest 7.3 thousand subs. The point is, they're not on the same level.
Right. Part of the reason he's getting married so quickly is because he needs health insurance.
As a viewer, I have to admit, it did strike me a bit sudden how Dave went from being divorced to engaged in what seemed like no time at all. And you know, I hadn't even considered the whole health insurance angle, but it actually makes a lot of sense, especially for someone who's doing YouTube as a full-time gig, remember?
If I really didn't want to get like filmed or anything like that, and he would be like, don't you want to be my friend anymore?
From there, the conversation takes a turn with Stephanie alleging that Dave would manipulate her into being in his videos. It's certainly unsettling to hear such behavior described.
If you wanted to come thrifting with me, if you wanted to come to Jake's flea market with me, if you wanted to go out to Goodwill's with me, if you wanted to go wherever with me thrifting, then we had to be filming. That was my job. And it's not that her and I couldn't hang out otherwise. Although back then it was difficult. Back then I was filming differently. I was filming mostly on the weekends back then. I was filming like Saturday and Sunday. I would try to get like 7 videos filmed. That's the way my life was going at the time. That's the way it was. Like, you don't have to like how my life is going at the time, but that's the way I had to, that's the way I was living. That's the way I was making money. That's the way I was surviving at the time, by filming all weekend long, Saturday, Sunday, film. And then, yeah, chances are back then, if you wanted to hang out with me, we were probably thrifting.
Dave doubles down, insisting that if you wanted to hang out or go thrifting with him, chances are he'd be filming, despite him saying that he only really films during the weekends.
So then it kind of got to be like, hey, you should be a regular because people really liked you. And I think the saddest thing about me that I figured out was, and he actually had said this, viewers like babes.
The conversation takes a bizarre turn after that, with Stephanie claiming that Dave only invites her to thrift because he wants to feature women in his videos and thumbnails. Dave doesn't deny it, but as the conversation unfolds, it becomes increasingly evident that Stephanie might have been used to attract more than just clicks.
You told me a story about the gentleman who, I'm using the term gentleman, I shouldn't use that word. There was a viewer of Dave's who requested to see something of you.
Oh, geez.
Dave tried to make it happen.
Yeah, there's definitely more to unpack here. I know this isn't my usual kind of video, but this situation is just too strange to ignore. Oh, and I've reached out to both Dave and Joe for their thoughts. Joe's not interested in delving deeper, but he did offer a comment. Still waiting to hear from Dave though. Do you guys want more of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and maybe we'll explore more in the next video.